I saw this video and it bothered me. On this video, this child was sitting in a barber's chair and he was asleep. And while he was asleep, this woman came up and kissed him on the cheek and she ran away. And when the child gained consciousness, it was like something shook his soul. And he woke up and looked up at these two grown men looking down at him. And in his heart, in his brain, those two men had kissed him. So this child is sitting there processing that while he was asleep and trusting, two grown men violated him. And people are making comments about how funny it is that the little man jumped up out of the chair and took his cape off and looked at them. That look, when that little boy turned around and looked back at those grown men, was one of betrayal. They betrayed him while he was vulnerable and trusting them. I saw all of that in his face. He wasn't just being bad and macho because he didn't want to be kissed by grown men. He was a little child whose trust had just been broken, who felt betrayed and who felt violated. But what they don't know is that that is the beginning of a soul tie. That little boy, in his heart and in his brain, was violated by grown men. He was a little child whose trust had just been broken, who felt betrayed. I think that the people who did it meant it to be funny. They didn't mean any harm, but harm was done to a child in that video. It may seem mild to the people who are watching the video. It might have seemed like a prank to the grown-ups who perpetuated this prank, but it's not mild. It's the beginning of a soul tie. And I say to those people, you were so wrong. That is not funny at all. His brain does not make a distinction between what you thought was funny and what he felt as a violation. And so I'm calling all of you. I'm calling you right now to pray for that little boy because his soul was violated in that video. It's on his face. It's in his eyes. He did not see it was funny. He looked up into the face of two grown men whom he had trusted enough to go to sleep while they were cutting his hair, only to feel that they violated him. To that female who did it, you were so wrong. There is a Bible verse that tells us that sin will come into this world, but woe to the person through whom it comes, especially when it comes to hurting a child. Yeshua said that it would be better for you to have a millstone tied around your neck and that you be drowned than that you do something like that to a child. So I hope you take this seriously. Anyone who watches this video, I don't think you should laugh. I think you should pray. I think you should pray for that young man, that young boy who will become a man, and break that soul tie in the spiritual realm for him. Intercede for him. Fight for him because he needs us right now. Pray for that little boy and pray for the people who thought that was funny because they obviously don't know what they just did to him.